Okay, hello, greetings and welcome. All right, so we're working through the initiation process, and in the first step we looked at observing the rising, falling away of thoughts, and how observing builds a type of stillness in the mind, and how that stillness purifies or detaches static from the mind, so clarity increases. You develop natural insight by just simply sitting in the stillness of the observer. Now the second exercise moves from this Vipassana mindfulness type of training to Samadhi type of training. An object is passing through your mind, you stop that object, and then you make it your meditation object. Now we can do this in a few different ways. We can keep the object far. We're an observer. We can move from observing to identify, I am the object. You identify, I am this, and you become it. Then we can move to exerting will within the object. So as you identify what your ability to influence and be willful inside of that object increases. And then we can move to the universe is this object. Now when you get to the state that the universe is this object, it's within one part is all parts. There's an emptiness which connects everything in the universe together. The fabric of every particle is connected to a unified mind substance. So when you are practicing, you'll have these moments where you reach the still point, the quietude of your meditation object, and your mind will just simply become connected to everything else around you. So your mind will not feel in any way separate or different from this chair, this table, this building that I'm in, the plants behind me. Everything is a unified field, everything is connected. And we really want to work towards that state where you have a unified mind experience. Now this unification of consciousness through stillness that spreads outwards is not something that can be described with adequately in any way. So it's something that just simply happens to people when they practice these exercises. When you absorb into an object, from object you and object are one, you're applying the will of the mind into the object, the stillness accumulates, and then you go into the omnipresent field of the object and you recognize that object exists everywhere in the universe. It's connected, it's a unified field, and whatever your meditation object is just a way of opening that door into that feeling quality, into that mind substance. When you spend time doing this, a few things happen. You get a very strong addiction to meditation. You get a very, very strong, man, it's so refined and beautiful and perfect in these meditation spaces, in these jhanic realms, where this physical space, physical body is not so much fun anymore. The contrast becomes pretty large. And you have to manage these experiences. I found maybe 1 year that I really felt that I didn't want to be in the body. And then from there, it harmonized inside my body, and I was able to teach Hermetics in a much more efficient way than I was prior to that. So the insight opened up and increased after I had those experiences. So as you're training this information, journal everything that's happening, investigate everything in your journal. So you have this practice time, this journaling time, and then a contemplation time. And you contemplate your journal, your process, your mechanisms, how you're training, why you do what you're doing, and so forth. And you break everything down with a type of intuitive intellect. Why am I doing this? How do I make it better? Now, when Baden presents the initiation process, he's presenting less than 1% of the initiation process. He's just a finger pointing at the moon. There's no moon in the book, there's just a finger. So try to avoid having any preconceived ideas of what happens when you do each exercise, because your intellect is not capable, it does not have the capacity to predict the outcomes of doing the exercise. It's impossible. They're spirit qualities that arise. They have nothing to do with the intellect. An academic will be 100% wrong about the initiation process if he read the book and tried to predict the outcomes. It can't be done, because the intellect and the intuition and spirit senses, it's a vibrational scale, different thing. So only a highly empathic person who can tune into those things would even have a general idea of what these outcomes are. All right, so as you enter into this path, when you journal while you're still in trance. So what do I say in trance? When you're in your physical senses, you're in the physical world. When you're in the astral, when you pay attention to the astral world, but in a physical body, in relation to the physical, you're slightly in trance. This applies to the spiritual worlds, all these different realms. In relation to someone looking at you in the physical, you will be regarded, oh, he's in some sort of trance. But to you, you're fully aware and consciousness of the state that you are in. So if you're in some inner spiritual world, it's like you're in the physical world. You're just in another realm, you're in another space, you're in another frequency, and that has huge, incredible value for your growth, your insight, your understanding when you have these experiences. So when you fill your journal, make sure you're inside of that frequency, that mind state. So there's a bridge. The astral world and the physical world come together and you fill your journal out. Your handwriting will be different, your modes of expression will be different, and that's okay. Just allow that to be. Then contemplate it. Have a read of it. Go, okay, I've got to contemplate this. And then, if you've done 3 transformations and you've connected to light, go into light and redefine your method of practice from there. And what this will do is allow your methodology to develop itself. And everybody has a different methodology. Initiation is different for every person. If you're a musician, you're going to take a totally different path to a person who's a scientist or an academic. Different thing. Your initiation process is unique to you, to your spiritual path, to the way your spirit has its way of evolving, its way of service, way of helping others. You need to train different things in your unique way in order to do that. Okay, thank you for your time. See you in the next video.